Good morning, everyone. Pippa Dot, Sprinkle Donuts, Kitty Coo. Good luck to your daughter. I hope she gets plenty of bullseyes. I would assume that's what they're going for. Maybe it's like darts where they have to get, combination. I don't know. I've never done an archery competition, but I'm doing well, Pippa Dot. I'm doing well. We are live from my actual, like dining room. It's like in between the dining room and the actual front door. Front door is that way. Dining room is that way. But I'm here doing live this morning because my son is sick. So if we hear, a little coughing in the background, it's not me. It's little guy. And there he goes. It happens. They're little vectors. When the flu season goes around, they all get it. They all come home with it, and they decide, I want to share it with you, Daddy. And they touch you, and then you get it. Good morning, Gemma. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone had a terrific week. Let me just read through the comments here. I have two monitors. You can probably see them in my glasses, the reflection. These are my new glasses. They got kind of a reddish tint to them. But yeah, getting older, eyesight's not as good as it used to be. It seems like every year ago they have to change the prescription a little bit more. Well, thank you, Pippa Dot. These are no line trifocals. 3 different scripts in the entire thing, and they're taking a little bit getting used to. So I'm going to be doing a lot of this because I can see that I can tell the difference in this section right here where the bifocal is, even though there's no lines, but I can definitely see the difference when I go like this, and how clear things are on the monitor. Allah Akbar to you, Mike. Good morning. Someone said hello to Glow, but I didn't see Glowworm. Pippa Dot, Sprinkle Donuts. There's Glow. Good morning, Glow. Welcome to this morning's coffee. Well, not coffee brew. Page 2 news. Francie, good morning. I feel you on that, Will. Last year, my prescription about doubled. Ow. Ooh. Yeah. I tried for the longest time to say that, I don't think my eyes are getting that much worse. But then I started noticing things, where, I've never liked driving at night. I don't have night blindness, as they call it, but, I just noticed that certain things, as the day progresses, get blurrier, and harder to read, like just sitting and reading papers, that I have, it's gotten harder and harder up close. And then distance wise, as the day goes on. I'm very upset about the Delphi verdict. Terrible miscarriage of justice. Sorry you feel that way, Mike. I'm sorry that you're upset as well. Me, personally, from the evidence that I read in the case, I believe the verdict was correct. That Richard Allen was guilty, and that justice was done. Now, what upsets me is the verdict that last night in the Mike Tyson and Logan Paul fight, or Jake Paul, whichever idiot that Paul brother it is. I did not see it being a unanimous decision for against Mike Tyson in the fight. I watched it from beginning to end, and I didn't see it that way, and so many others did not see it that way. But that's to each their own, I guess, right? Good morning, Gayla. Welcome to this morning's Page 2 News. We're going to get this going here in just a second. But if you found guilty of a crime by a judge and the evidence was there, then correct decision was made. But, Gemma, and our legal system is deeply flawed, just like any, country's legal system out there. And we have convicted, people of crimes where they were innocent. And then later on, we were able to prove through, thankfully, we have groups like the Innocence Project that has been able to exonerate, individuals and get them out of prison. But, it happens. Unfortunately, here in America, we've also executed innocent people. It's part of the system. It is flawed as it is. We try not to do it. Glow. I thought the fight was a good fight. I just did not see the decision coming down that way, and I watched it with probably 30, 35 other people last night, and just asking around, polling, because they actually did a poll there of, before the decision came down, who do they think, raise of hands, who thought that Tyson got it and who thought that, that the Paul brother, had gotten it. And it came down to, across the board, that we would have gave 2 more rounds to Tyson than Paul. And we certainly wouldn't have made it a unanimous decision, for, the Paul brother. Nobody saw it that way. And when the verdict came down that it was a unanimous decision, we're all like, but, oh, well. You thought Mike Tyson would be fighting with a king by now. I saw a lot of people online who, speaking of that before we get to this, a lot of people were talking about, oh, Mike Tyson's doing this because he needs the money. Now, apparently a lot of people out there really don't understand what Mike Tyson has. Yeah, he lost a lot of his money that he made in boxing, but Mike Tyson owns a very big marijuana grow operation. It's all legal in the state that it's in, and has partnered with a lot of other, entities and businesses along the way. And him and his wife have made back all of his money. And then he's got his acting on top of it all, that he's doing, his promotions that he's doing. He didn't do this fight against Paul for, the money necessarily. Maybe it was, it's that fighting urge. If you've ever seen the episodes of him on the Joe Rogan podcast, when he, and you got to watch them in order. The first one, when he was retired, and he talked about he never wanted to get back in the ring again or exercise even. But his wife told him, you're getting a little fat. You need to work out a little bit, exercise, go for walks, something to, lose the weight. And he started doing that, and it reinvigorated the monster inside of him. And then he did some exhibition rounds and stuff like that, and it sparked that fire in him. Well, this is technically the first real fight that he's had in 12 years. So, complete round. If I would almost guarantee there's going to be a rematch, of this decision, against Paul. And so we're going to go on now, and we're going to do what we're here for: true crime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 231st episode of the morning, true crime recap. But keep in mind before we start, once the national news in the U.S. became a profitable division of media companies, The national news became less about the news and more about stroking the egos of the audiences. Those are pictures of Edward R. Murrow, and that is what he said about the national news. He said that publicly on January 3rd, 1958. It was true then, and it's more true today when it comes to the actual coverage of news and news stories. They stroke your ego and they tell you what their audience and what they believe and their, ads, and who are placing ads in the news, what they believe the story is, not necessarily the entire story. What is Page Two News? The program you are watching right now is a series and a Saturday morning live stream dedicated to uncovering underreported and overlooked crime stories from across the U.S. These stories often go ignored by large creators due to their lack of sensationalism, drama, or sound bites, despite their significance. What, little man? Daddy reading.
Oh, it says Page 2 News.
Yep, that's what it says.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. First story is 10 to 20 human skulls were found in Jala, New Mexico. The Lake County Sheriff's Office reports that after a second search was concluded at the property, they have discovered part of 10 to 20 human skulls. Some were reportedly buried while others just laid upon the ground. The incident that brought the sheriff to the home was a report of physical altercation where one reporting party said, "He threw human bones at me." At the time of it is still a developing story, and no charges have been levied so far against the individual whose home where they found these bones. One set of remains, however, could be those of the missing neighbor, Angela McMahon's. And update is coming. If you want to click on the link there, now or later, you can read more about it. Mike, from what he reported to the sheriff's department, which they're still investigating, it was not an old burial ground. He said that he purchased the bones of these 10 to 20 different individuals online, and that he used them in a ritualistic fashion. And then once he was done with them, he bought other ones. They are still trying to figure out just if this story is true, and that's why there is no charges that have been filed as of yet, but they are planning to go back and search with ground penetrating radar. And why would you buy 10 to 20 skeletons or skulls and then bury them? That's why they're trying to figure out why, at this point. But it's an ongoing story. Next one is, dude, where's your head? This is out of Biscayne, Florida. A human head recently washed ashore after a recent tropical storm and storm surge from the last hurricane. Sounds shocking, right? Well, it isn't the first time, nor will it be the last time this has happened. It happens fairly often, according to the Miami-Dade Police Department. At this time, they do not know the sex of the head or the age, or even if foul play is involved. The reason is for a lovely head washing, for this head washing ashore. More testing is to come. An update will come as well, most likely by next week. And the link there to the actual story. All right, so more context to this. Bones washing ashore. A lot of times they are people who were trying to, sneak into the country, on a raft, and they drowned, and their bones, fell to their body sinks to the bottom, it biodegrades, and the only thing that's left is skeleton remains, and they wash ashore in the Biscayne area quite frequently, according to the Miami-Dade Police Department. Additionally, that it could have been a boating accident with somebody else from the United States, and this is a complete skeleton, and at this head, the skull with lower jaw attached. So that's why they don't know if it's a female or male at this time. But again, they're going to do more testing, and they'll know within, if they don't know at this point if it's a man or woman. They just haven't released an update on it. Timu. I just read it. I'll get to it in a little bit. I'll make a note of that. I'll tell you something about Timu and a couple of the other companies like that, Mike. It was kind of shocking to me, but apparently, my wife and a lot of other people knew it as well. All right, next one is video gamer abuser caught. This is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A father has been arrested and charged with several charges that he threw his crying infant son against a wall at least 2 times after losing on an online video game of NBA video game. Not everyone should have had children, but here we are. Jalen is facing several charges of child abuse. And this is not the first run-in with the law. Jalen White, according to online records, however, this is the first charge of child abuse. And the neighbor in the next apartment is the one that called the police after hearing the child hit the wall the second time. So this is how it basically outlines of the case. Jalen White, the man you see here, was playing an online video game, NBA video game, against someone else, and he lost in the game. And his son had been crying for a couple of minutes, according to the neighbor who heard the kid crying and screaming. And this is an infant, by the way. This is not like a 10 or 12-year-old kid. Okay, this was an infant, and he heard the neighbor heard the baby crying. And then he heard Jalen White scream out some obscenities, and then something about, I can't believe I lost. And then there was a little bit of quietness while the baby was crying, and then the neighbor heard a loud thump against the wall. That's a wall that divides between the 2 apartments. And he thought maybe, Jalen White, who he had previous run-ins with and interactions with, maybe he punched the wall. Well, he goes, that was a little bit louder than normal. And then as soon as, right after that, he heard a thump against the wall again. And then the baby stopped crying immediately. It was like, oh, shit. That wasn't him punching the wall. That was the baby hitting the wall. So you can click on the story out of the Milwaukee, there if you want to read more about it. Again, this is an infant, kid. This is not an older kid. Next, dumb Americans. American tourist in Japan has been arrested for defacing one of the most iconic temples in Japan. This was not a young teenager or even a 20-year-old idiot. This was a 65-year-old man, a tourist, who carved the letters into the wooden beam. So this is an archway beam that goes into the temple outside of it. He carved this stuff into the one that's on the right-hand side, I believe, or left-hand side, I mean. But it is unfixable. There's no way for them to fix this temple. This temple was originally erected, this entryway was erected in the 1920s. But had been in the entryway and the rest of the temple had been bombed into pretty much oblivion by the United States government during World War II. And was not rebuilt until the 1950s. But these 2 poles were the only remains, original remains from the temple from the 1920s, along with part of one of the outbuildings. But in case you're wondering what he carved into the pole, it's mindless, crud. Can I help you? Take your game. Go over there. Daddy's doing something right now. Thank you. But you can click on the article from the CNN, and there's another good source that you could read. I wouldn't pay too much attention to the articles that are on the Fox affiliate out of Washington D.C. or Virginia, because both of them kind of turn the blame on the Japanese government and others instead of the tourists who defaced the actual temple itself. All right, this is a news segment. News, entertainment news. The news and events that have not even the best public relations team can push down to the back pages of papers, along with some general stories about how they are so effed up. And again, don't forget, Mr. Crowley. What's in your head? Oh, Mr. Crowley, did you talk to the dead? First story on entertainment news is Zach Bryant, the country western star. You want to play the guitar now? Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, I go ahead and read some more?
Yes.
Okay. And, the country music star was arrested in 2023 from an incident where he put himself in between his actual security officer and a police officer, and interjected in the middle of it, interfering with the officer doing his job. His security officer was caught speeding, and Zach is lucky he wasn't also charged with assault on the officer. But I'm sure this is something that Zach Bryant just wants to put behind him, But he took a deferred prosecution in this case, and thank you. You all got serenaded by my son and his guitar. I hope you enjoyed that. Can I go back to what I'm doing?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next one?
Next one?
Next one. All right, next one.
What?
All right, what is this one? What's that one say right there?
John Lennon and Yoko.
Right? Yep. Yoko. John Lennon and Yoko. Wristwatch that Yoko Ono had purchased as an early birthday gift for John Lennon months before he was murdered. That was then stolen from him in his estate, must now be returned, according to the Swiss High Courts have ruled. The watch was going to be sold at auction. This is how it came up on the radar that this watch was going to be sold. The Patek Philippe purchased by Yoko Ono for $25,000, again months before John Lennon was murdered, had a pre-sale estimate between $1 to $3 million. But now must be returned to the estate of John Lennon. No word who from the actual estate will actually receive the watch, because first off, the watch had disappeared and it was not listed in the actual estate because it's gone. Nobody knew where it was. Yeah, but now it must be returned. Will they take it and actually sell it, or will they put it in donate it to a museum and write it off? We don't know, what's going to really happen. But this is the link to the New Yorker if you want to read more about the actual Patek Philippe watch that was stolen from John Lennon. All right, over the last 2 weeks, particularly last week, there have been no updates on any of the stories that I covered last week. So now we're moving on. Harmless self-promotion. Did you forget about my merch store? I have mugs, stickers, t-shirts, hats that are there, and all of the items. There is no reason to need a code or anything for a discount on anything. Where some creatives will give you a discount and say, hey, you can save an extra 10% off. I've already slashed the prices, and this is what in red there in front of each item is what I make from each item over the cost. Again, I have no other creator in my space at all that charges as little as me. I'm just trying to get fan merchandise out there to people at a reasonable price. And that is the link there in blue if you wish to purchase something from the merch store. All right, serial killer corner. You will die to get away. Richard Beasley posted help wanted positions in newspapers online and then killed those who came to apply for the jobs on site. Some of them were immediately he killed because they, whatever reason, because he's a goddamn serial killer. There isn't enough space here to do justice to this. So on the next thing here, you can click the link. And oddly, ladies and gentlemen, I could only find 2 articles online on national publications where somebody actually covered this story out of, again, the article that is right there is from an agricultural news story from a publication is put out from farmer to farmer, talking about, crops and equipment and stuff like that. It is almost unheard of that they would actually cover a news story like a fellow farmer is a serial killer. But he put these ads on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, local newspapers, and he put them out in other publications outside of his area to lure people to his farm, and then he killed them. Yeah, bad news. All right.
Daddy.
What?
What is the bad news?
What?
What is the bad news?
That was the bad news. What am I doing? What am I reading now? What does this say on the screen? Hey.
What?
What does that say?
Stupid sports and weather.
Right. Stupid sports and weather.
Wait. I think the express for stupid.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. All right. I'm going to go back to reading now. Thank you. All right. Stupid sports and weather from around the world. All these stories are 100% real, but that make you wonder why people really take part in these and why people are risking their lives to do it. Here's a fun weather story out of Sarasota, Florida. Every year during hurricane season, a group gathers to ride out the storm or storms. And it sounds innocent enough. Well, 4 babies have been conceived at these gatherings, and you can guess what they're actually doing and what kind of parties these are, where there have been 4 babies actually conceived within these groups. Additionally, 9 people have been injured because the storm was more brutal and things flew or hit or, there was destruction at some point where somebody got injured, where they needed hospitalization. In 2024, there were 36 people who attended this group gathering in Sarasota, Florida this year. 36 who rode out, not one, they rode out Helene, and then they rode out the next storm after that. Now, they obviously they come and go. They don't just stay in one place, but they gather during the actual storm itself to have a party. But 4 babies have been conceived during these parties, and 9 people have ended up in the hospital. Crazy sports story for this week is ostrich racing. Doesn't that sound like fun? These races are held every year around the world. I found a total of 20 of them exactly, not just in the United States, Australia, New Zealand. I found them everywhere, and even places where you wouldn't think that you would find ostriches. I found one in Calgary, Canada, but again, ostrich racing. So in an example, in Casper, Wyoming, they watered down the actual racetrack. So you're riding an ostrich and racing other people riding ostriches through the mud and puddles. Would you do this? Would you take part in ostrich racing, sitting on the back of a giant bird? In case somebody's wondering, they do have a maximum weight limit of 290 pounds. Even though an ostrich, a full-grown ostrich, can carry a much larger payload than that, that is the maximum, 290 pounds. Now, I'm giving you the information from the Casper, Wyoming race itself, and that is where this picture is from Casper, Wyoming. So, would you race it on an ostrich? How would you control this stupid thing? They put little reins around its neck so you can actually have something to hold on to. And they have kind of like a collar thing that you would put like on a dog, but it goes around the ostrich's neck and in front, like shoulders. So you have something to hold on to. So, but multiple people have been injured. And a lot of times when people fall off of these stupid birds, they have a tendency to want to kick the crap out of you. After you fall off them, it was like, hey, thank you for riding me. Now here's a couple swift kicks to the groin. Do they have saddles? Some of the races they put little like blankets on. You sit on a blanket. But for a saddle, I don't know if they have saddles. I could not find any pictures of saddles, but I did see one where the guy put like a blanket on it. It looked like I don't know what you call it, but it was like a little square blanket, and that's what the guy got up on and then grabbed a hold of like the rein thing that's around the front shoulders neck area of the ostrich. But I don't know if they have actual saddles or not. All right. If you like this content, please give this this content a thumbs up. If you have any contact or feedback you would like to share, or a story that you'd like to share, you can reach out to me at the following email address, 411nowbusiness@gmail.com. And I would appreciate hearing any feedback, constructive criticism. But again, unlike, like last week, I pointed out, if you want to just tell me to go F off, or you hate me and hate my content and all my viewers, I'm not going to, lose any sleep over it, but I'm certainly not going to share it with anyone else. All right, survey question for this week. Should digital content creators be allowed press credentials if they have never attended or completed an advanced degree? Yes, A. B. No. C. Depends on the purpose. Again, this poll question is posted on Facebook and on X, along with here on YouTube. Should they be allowed, press credentials? Are they considered the actual press? Digital content creators, I'm talking about people who are, maybe they make, crime or news reporting on either YouTube or X or, on Facebook, but they have no advanced degree. Should they be allowed the same access, as anyone else, like, say such as myself, who has an advanced degree in journalism? Should they be allowed the same press credentials? And again, tune in next week to find out, the answer to this week's poll. All right, now to last week's poll results. Last week's question was, do you believe non-mainstream crime news, again in quotes, channels on YouTube report the facts accurately? Those who answered yes, there were 9 people only that answered yes, that they report the facts accurately. 15 said no, and most of the time, 49 said most of the time YouTube crime news channels report the facts accurately, and never or slightly was 28 out of in the total poll. If you ask me in my feedback on this actual question itself, I would say the answer is C, most of the time. It all depends, again, upon the actual individual and what their motive is. If their motive is to only drive views and to, earn money from, reporting the sensationalism behind a story, then yeah, maybe they start off with most of the time that they are actually trying to tell you and give you the actual, facts of a case and report them accurately. But I mean, there are so many out there that will take a story and cut it down into basic cliff notes and then fill in the blanks of those cliff notes with as much sensationalism as they can. All right. All right, now it's time for fact or fake. Can you find the real news story? This is how it works. I will present you 3 stories widely reported as news from the internet. Each of these stories have received at least 10,000 shares and likes. Your job, if you accept, is to only find the real story. Keep in mind the other 2 are fake. There is no need to tell me or the world which ones are fakes. Just answer in the comment section 1, 2, or 3, whichever one is the real story. Story number 1. What started off as a harmless prank nearly turned deadly. A man only referred to as Marcus in the police report jumped a fence at a 6-year-old birthday party dressed as a bear. Several fathers attending didn't know this was a joke and started beating him with chairs, poles, and other items from the yard, thinking again that this was a bear that had jumped the fence at a 6-year-old's birthday party. Is this the real story, or is this one of the fake stories? Story number 2. A woman in Fresno, California has been arrested for using actual Monopoly money. Yeah, money from the game of Monopoly to pay for her dinner bill at a restaurant. When confronted by police, she had $3,200 in Monopoly money and $3,200 in U.S. real currency. She reportedly told the police their service and food was a joke fake, so they get joke fake currency. And she was arrested for this. Is this the real story, or is this the fake story? Story number 3. An unknown person in Lake Arrowhead, California, dressed as a bear, climbed into a Rolls Royce and did close to $180,000 in damages. It was all a fraudulent attempt at an insurance scam. Go watch the video. It's clearly a person in a costume. Well, now the owner of the car is looking at jail time, and the bear suit was found, by the way, just not the person who was wearing it. Is this the real story, or is this one of the fake stories? Again, which one is correct? Story number 1, 2, or 3? And keep in mind, every one of these stories has at least 10,000 shares and likes on the internet, and people are reporting a mainstream, or other news outlets, or people are sharing the links or whatever to them. But they all have at least 10,000 shares, or likes. Most of them have hundreds of thousands of shares and likes. So it's hard to figure out which one is actually real. I will give you a couple of minutes to think about which one is real. Story 1, 2, or 3. Good morning, Short and Ice, friendly talker. Good morning. Anyone else I may have missed that's here? I hope that you all had a terrific week. I'm sitting here scrolling up through the comments to see if there's anybody else I may have missed. Rykart, good morning, Rykart. I know, it's boring. It's just words on a screen. What? I can still see you, you goofball. All right, ladies and gentlemen, which one of these stories is real? Story number 1, story number 2, or story number 3? The correct answer is story number 3. This was all an insurance scam by the man who owned the Rolls Royce. He paid someone to dress up in a bear suit, climb into his Rolls Royce, and do damage to the seats, to the door, to the dash, and anything else that was in the car that could, and they used something that looked like it was a bear claw, but instead of the nails being, recessed in like a curvature, like a hand or a paw or claws would be, they're absolutely straight across. So whatever it was that they used to do all the damage, it was clear from the scratch marks on the door panels and on the back seat and the puncture holes that this was an insurance scam from the beginning. And here's the dumb part. The man actually uploaded the video to his insurance company as proof that a bear got into his Rolls Royce and destroyed it. Why he did this, we do not know. There doesn't seem to be any issue with him being able to pay for the car because the car was either almost paid off or completely paid off, the Rolls Royce. But now it's got $180,000 worth of damage, and he's on his own to repair his own stupid car. Plus, he is going to go to jail for insurance fraud. Yeah. All right, tomorrow night. That is 11/17/24. What's that, little man?
I use it to the street. Now,
you're on my stream on your Switch, huh?
Yes.
Oh.
Now, go say good morning, Taco.
Good morning, Taco.
I just subscribed.
What? You just subscribed?
Yes.
Well, thank you. I have a new subscriber. My son has just subscribed to this channel. I hope others will do it. Will subscribe. What do you think? Do you think they should?
Yes.
I think they should too. Thank you. All right, but tomorrow night we're doing trivia on Robert Durst. Trivia tomorrow night. Have you ever considered becoming a channel member? Again, this $1.99 a month is the lowest tier to become a channel member. That is 6 cents a day is what I get. Actually less, because YouTube takes 30% of the $1.99. YouTube takes 30% right off the top of that. So it's actually less than 6 cents a day is what I get. For those who do become channel members at the lowest tier of $1.99, they get early access to new episodes, extended cuts of little-known killers. You get a badge next to your name that you'll see, here in live streams and in comments after live streams and in videos. You directly support me, with less, fees that are taken out of it. Yes, it's 30% is what they take out of $1.99 is what YouTube takes for channel membership. But it's 37%, up to 37%, depending upon where you live in the world and what you use as the actual avenue to payment. If you use American Express to be a subscriber to a YouTube channel, they take an extra 0.5% because you're using American Express. If you use Discover, again, the same thing as American Express, an extra 0.5%. And when you only get 6 cents per month per person, it adds up. What?
I just comment.
Oh, you did. Oh, you did. Sago Music. That is my son. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Can I go back to this now?
Yes.
On top of that, there's members only content, several times a month. And there are more features that we plan to roll out in 2025, the beginning of the year. So in about a month and a half from now, you'll see more. And of course, there are more that is offered to higher levels, above $1.99. And that is the link if you would ever consider, want to consider becoming a channel member. All right, everyone. Thank you and stay safe out there. The chat is still open. I'm here, but you're not going to be able to see me because I got this kid running around in the background and I refuse to put him on the internet. You can hear me. I'm here. So if the chat is still open, but if he comes near, it's going to go, the whole screen's going to go black because I closed the lens cover on this device. Hi, Pippa. Look, he's even saying hello to you, Pippa Dot. You love YouTube?
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi. Yes. Hi, Dad. I see that. It says right there. Hi, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't show the camera.
No, we cannot show the camera. You are not to be on camera.
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
Do something else besides, Hey, do something else that is not interactive with my stream.
Okay.
Thank you. Louise. Good morning, Louise. Yeah. Hello to your son. Will, what's for breakfast? Francie already made breakfast. Little guy over here has been up since 4 a.m. He got up and, well, he didn't sleep very well. He was up and down all night because he's dealing with the cold that is going around in his school. But for breakfast, what did I make? I made French toast, scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage patties, and then a fruit parfait with strawberries, cantaloupe, honeydew, and grapes. What do you think about Dog going after Sebastian's parents? Dog the bounty hunter? It's the only dog I can think of. Or is it an actual physical dog? Because Mike, I'm not familiar with that. What he might be going on. Yeah, that's early.
Look at that.
Okay, William.
What?
Do you know where that super chat you just sent? Do you know where that came from?
Yes.
You just took my money and paid me my own money.
Yeah. Like YouTube money.
Yeah, it is YouTube money. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I said, please stop.
Okay.
Okay, because that's my money you're spending.
Okay.
And I know you sent it to me as a super chat, but
yes.
that's my money.
So thank you.
Huh? Thank you, though. Thank you, but please stop.
Okay.
Don't you have a video to edit?
Yeah.
We'll go edit your video. Fine. Ain't that great? He sounds cute. Oh, he is super cute. But he just sent me a super chat of my own money. Yeah, that $10 super chat that he just sent was my money to me. So, 30% of that goes to YouTube. So he basically paid YouTube to super chat me. Oh, kids. Now they get 37%. The 37% short nights, dependent upon the avenue and where the person in the avenue of payment and what their method of payment is up to 37%. I actually look at the statistics quite regularly, and it's right around 30 to 31% is what most of them take. unless it's there's avenues like Patreon and stuff like that that take less, but not much anymore. I mean, they're all pretty much across the board. Super chat, super thanks, and so on. Stop.
Okay, I'll stop.
I've asked you nicely to please stop. I'm doing something right now.
Okay.
You can be a nut when I'm done. He's watching my stream. Watch something else. William. Watch something else.
Okay.
Or watch something else or I'm turning it off. Thank you. Oh, the joys of being a dad. Yeah, at least he's keeping the money in the family for now. I didn't know my card was still on the Switch because I logged on to buy his it's like this game thing that he plays with Thomas the Tiger, or yeah, it's Thomas the Tiger. But I logged on. I forgot to delete the information. Then obviously that was this morning. So when he went to go do that, he sent me a super chat of my own money. People should just e-transfer. Yeah, short nights. That's just the system we have in place. I've written them all out. Cash App, which is I don't know why anybody uses it because they may charge lower fees, but they collect more data on the sender and the receiver of the money, and they bundle all that together. I mean, they all do, but they bundle it all together, and they're selling it to just anybody. They don't care who they are, But the highest bidder gets that bundle of data. You don't know where that person is and what they plan on doing with that data. But I've looked at PayPal, YouTube, different ways of supporting different creators. You used to be able to log on. You could actually super chat, or support a creator through purchasing, like tokens and stuff like that from through your phone, or your phone bill. But all of it across the board, I mean, it's pretty much the same, what they charge now. Everybody's decided to dip their little fingers into the greedy little pockets, of each and every, thing that's going on out there. So 31% here, 30% here, 36%, 35%. I mean, you look across the board and it depends upon, it might be up and down a little bit, but it's pretty much in the, the 30s to mid 30s is what every avenue charges. And then, but hey, you got to get it where you can get it. And if you want to support people, it's not just me. I mean, if you don't want to give me, the money, great. Support somebody else. But just remember at the same time that we're doing all this, I'm making this content and you're watching the content. We are the actual package. You're packaging all of this together. And I mean everything that you do. You log onto your phone to send a text message to your friend. Your cell company is keeping track of that. Even if you use a VPN, I use a VPN for everything. Right now, matter of fact, this stream, if you look at the actual stream code, it says that I'm in Switzerland. Because I use a VPN so other people don't track me. But YouTube knows where I am. They know where you are. And you may move about in your house, or like I am right now. I'm from the dining room area. But they're bundling all this information about us in a package, and then they sell that information. Would you like to know about this Caucasian male from the West Coast of the United States? Here's what we know about him. We know his name, what his likes are, his dislikes are. This is what he purchases at the grocery store. Yeah, everything. They package it all together, and that's the more information they get, they can sell it, and they get more money for it. But even while we're doing this, they're gathering information on all of us because we are the actual product of this all. I know that sounds scary, but that's the world we live in, and no one, I mean, absolutely no one, doesn't matter what political party you belong to or anything, is doing anything to stop it. And where in 50 years will it be? Will we all have barcodes, that is our social media, number that we have to scan before we can log in? I mean, I don't want to go all Soylent Green on you people, but I don't see where the ending's going to be in a doomsday, prophecy. One of your grandsons ordered stuff off of Amazon with the parents' card, and they didn't know until some boxes and Legos showed up at the door. Oh, I've gotten quite a few of those. Well, before, and it's insane. Like what Google, it will keep. If you log on to one device, and use your card, and then you use it in that one device, it's on Google and everywhere you can access Google. So I did log on using his Switch this morning, to make his purchase, but I forgot to take it off. That's my fault. I probably left the last window open, at the confirmation thing, so it's there. But I'll take care of it later. And yeah, so he is spending the money on me, but he has in the past ordered pretty bizarre things. One of his favorite musical bands is Gorzilla. If anybody's familiar with the band Gorzilla, that's what he was just listening to, playing in the background. But I'll probably get strike for it. But what can I do? But one of the characters in there has blue hair, so he actually ordered a blue wig off of Amazon. It's actually a pretty nice wig. I mean, I paid for it, and hopefully it was a nice one. I'm 50 years old, and the only one that will be alive on here will be your son in 50 years. In 50 years, you'll be alive. But I was reading two messages at the same time there. 50 years. Well, I highly doubt that I'll be alive in 50 years, Mike. I'm hoping to make it 5. It just seems like the older I get, the more I fall apart. And faster and faster. But today is my friend Chris's birthday. What's these GoFundMe's that karma creators are starting up for supposed lawsuits? Are they really collecting 100K from subs? They could be. They could be, friendly talker. I don't know. People give their money to the most insane projects out there. There was a guy that one of the GoFundMe's. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen. You got to hear this. Listen up to this. This is funny, but actually, kind of humorous. But serious at the same time. There was a guy, I believe he was from Chicago, Illinois, who really wanted to make potato salad. And he didn't have the money to go to the store to buy the supplies to make potato salad. So he started a GoFundMe to make potato salad. And the man collected close to $1 million in donations on GoFundMe to make potato salad. But what did he do with the money that he got? Did he make potato salad eventually? Yes, he did make potato salad. And now, today, he is actually in the field and he makes potato salad in a factory and he sells it in and around the Midwest of the United States. It's his grandmother's recipe for potato salad. But it wasn't a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo thing. It was a GoFundMe for potato salad because he really wanted potato salad. People supported that to almost to $1 million. But over across the board, when it comes to GoFundMe, this tells you just how messed up our world is. Better than 90% of all GoFundMes are for medical reasons. People needing money to pay for medication, to pay for cancer treatments, to pay for whatever medical, surgeries or whatever they may need. Instead of society stepping up and actually making sure people get, the basic health care that they need and the care to live a normal life and have their medications that they need to be able to enjoy their lives. People are forced to go to GoFundMe's to start up, GoFundMe so they can get the basic things like their penicillin or whatever that might be, or their, I'm sure it is. I mean, people are probably raising money for Viagra too, but medical reasons is about 90% of why of all the GoFundMe's out there. My son will be your age in 50 years, Mike. So that puts you right around what, 58? It's around my age. Funerals, a lot of funerals on there. Burial costs, a lot of them. But every once in a while, you see like those potato salad, GoFundMe's, where someone's raising money to make potato salad. And people are like, hey, you know what? It's not as depressing as all the other stuff that's on GoFundMe. So, but likewise, there are people out there who still, give money to support Christopher Watts, believing that he has the right and he has the, the legal loophole to get a new attorney to fight his actual conviction. And I checked into a couple of the last ones, and one of them actually paid out. The person who started the GoFundMe for a new attorney for Christopher Watts withdrew the thousands and thousands of dollars that they had collected. Did Christopher Watts get any of that money? Did it go to hire an attorney for him to fight and file an appeal? No appeal has been filed. And there is no new attorney on record listed with the Dodge Correction Center. So it was all a scam. But people still do it. There are a couple out there right now, I'm sure, for Karen Reed to help pay for her, legal defense. If, any large case out there at all that pops up in the news. 59. Well, you're close to my age, Mike. We're pretty close in age. Medications are so overpriced, it should be illegal. There are some out there, sprinkled donut, that are trying to disrupt the industry, as a whole. Mark Cuban, the guy who is on the Shark Tank, and owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he's trying to disrupt the entire medication distribution network, and with his company, is it Costless Drugs or one of them? It's something like that. But instead, it's like he tells you this is what the price is for the actual medication. This is our small, fee that we charge, and then we ship it directly to you. But he's not the only one that's trying to, disrupt the industry. Because as from manufacturer, the manufacturer's costs, and then then there's always the distributor, packaging, advertising, then the retailer, and then the retailer's profit, and then you buy it, on the consumer side. He wants to cut all of this out of the equation and say, look, you pay us a very minimal, processing fee. My wife goes through it, and that's where she gets her metformin, is through it. The company, but I can't remember if it's Costless Drugs or whatever it is. So don't quote me on that. I think we're all about the same age, pretty close. I know of a couple people here who are in their mid 60s, but again, it's the world, until there's a demand for it, and people, have had enough. Not a whole lot gets done in this world. Just because I want change, in this area, or maybe I have, a bunch of other friends who want change, until you get the mass people to want change, you're never going to see it. It's like when my wife would, in case for those who don't know or might be listening, my wife is a breast cancer survivor. And when she was going through her chemotherapy, the anti nausea medication, the only thing that worked for her was $2,000 out of pocket for us. It was $8,000 for the script, and we had to pay $2,000 for it from the pharmacy. It was the only thing that worked for her. And trust me when I tell you, people tried, giving us as much marijuana, as possible, and the oils and extracts from it. None of it would work. But it didn't stop people from bringing us baby food jars and pre-rolled joints and all kinds of stuff. When she was going through the chemotherapy for the nausea. But that one drug, $2,000 per use. That was it. And then if she wanted to eat again that week, it was another $2,000. That's insane. Who's got money like that? Middle class or poor? Or hell, even rich. Someone who might be doing well off. Who's got $2,000 to drop every single time they want to eat? I don't. I'm sure a lot of us don't either. But knock on wood, it has been, my wife has been, cancer free, from that cancer for, let's see, 11 years, 10 years. Well, your birthday is October 12th. Sprinkled Donut just turned 59 in October. I think me and Inner Peas, our birthdays are close to each other. But if I recall, it's either maybe it's Cement Shoes. I can't remember. But do you think YouTube creators' personal information should be put behind a paywall, i.e., Stephanie Harlow's husband's death? I don't know. Read that again, friendly talker. Do you think a YouTube creator's personal information should be put behind a paywall? Well, I don't think anyone's personal information should be out there. When it comes to a creator, regardless of whoever they are, that information, that personal information like address, phone number, and stuff like that, a lot of that is used to dox, and I've been doxed before, and it's not fun at all. And I had a group that that was closely aligned. Let's just say that allegedly to an idiot who is well, let's just leave it there. But they were aligned with them, and they actually got people to come to my home for free iPads. And they told them that the only time that they could come was between 9 o'clock at night, and midnight. And where I lived at the time, I had these stupid teenagers who would completely brain dead who came to my home, and one of the first ones was lucky. I didn't know who he was, and I saw him walking up my driveway, to my home, and I'm like, buddy, you come much closer. You're about to be leaving here like Swiss cheese. But, and that was all because they didn't like a video. One video that I did. That is a dumb reason to get someone killed, for it. But I don't think anybody's personal information should be on the internet to answer your question. Should it be behind a paywall? I don't give my personal information behind a paywall or publicly. I'll give you my email address, and I'll tell you approximately what part of the country I'm in. And there are some of you out there who do have my my personal phone number and stuff like that for cell. Plunder Channel got a hold of an autopsy PDF and put it behind a paywall. Oh, that's not nice. Well, Pippadot turned 58 in October. I refuse to get into the drama of this creator or that creator does this, or this one sucks, or this one's great. I don't do it because in the end of the day, all it does is bring strife right back around to me. I've seen some fake ones out there. Hopefully somebody was able to confirm that it was a real PDF of an autopsy. I've seen some really good, fake ones. And as AI gets even better, boy, they can mimic my voice or your voice or another creator's voice and into an audio or video clip now, and it sounds just like that individual. Oh yeah, they will. You're absolutely right, friendly talker. They will go to any length. I have seen and I have know of some individuals that will stop at nothing. Does your kiddo like Happy Meals? Francie, he loves Happy Meals. Happy Meals make him happy, as he says. I mean, the only thing he ever eats out of them, though, is, he'll the fries and or apple slices, and then picks the either eats the nuggets or he'll eat the burger out of the bun. But he won't eat the bun. Miss Harlow's deceased husband. Good morning, Lemon Pie. I've seen some things that I don't know if I hadn't known about what you said about plunder, you know, put something like that out there, but I've seen some sketchy things from people that have done things that in hindsight they know were wrong. I mean, I'm not going to give any examples of it, but other than to say that people make mistakes. We're all human. Maybe they a one time thing or maybe two events. You can kind of like, all right, they made that mistake and they probably won't do it in the future again. But then there's the people who do it over and over and over again. And we all know you can think of the person, another creator out there that has done the same things, questionable things over and over again for the views and the clicks and the money. And they're sitting here, with a countdown thing in the upper corner that says, "Give me all your money. I need your money." Those people that are out there. I still don't understand why people watch that though. It annoys the crap out of me as a viewer, of somebody panhandling. If I want to hear someone panhandle, I'll go down in front of like the supermarket near the freeway, and I'll give my money to that person who probably is going to use it for something else, but than what they say their sign says. But I don't want to hear it constantly in a live stream. I know exactly who Stephanie Harlow is. Mine is the 12th, and my dad's was the 8th. He passed. My brother is the 20th. Ooh, March 26th for you, Short Nice. I have a sister's birthday is March 19th. It's surprising though how many of my siblings all have the birth date, of the 19th. I just hit real heated when I heard that Plunder did. I think Stephanie Harlow's even ended up on Lamont's channel at sometimes where he's gone with Lamont on the Run or at large. It was one of the two where he went to the rails, I guess you could say. about some of the things that Stephanie has said or done over the years. I don't pay much attention to it, and I don't, like I said, I don't like the gossip. Where one channel hates another channel because of something else. It doesn't get anybody anywhere in the end. Good morning, Lemon Pie. I hope that you had a terrific week. I'm glad you could be here this morning with us. I'm going to wrap this up here in a little bit here. And in the meantime, before I go, if you enjoyed this morning's actual, recap, hit the thumbs up. I know it's a little bit different, with my son playing serenaded us with the guitar and everything else. But if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you're watching this in rewind and you liked it, leave a comment, underneath the video. Again, I appreciate all the of it. If it's an interaction and it helps, just a tiny bit, move the content out to more people who may enjoy it. I don't have to be kept, YouTube's best kept secret anymore. And after all this time, a lot of people, stumble back upon me years later and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're still here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. As long as I'm still breathing, air, I'm going to still be here and doing this because I believe that the entire thing is, the right thing to do." What are your plans for Thanksgiving this year, Rykart? I'm cooking dinner for 26 right now. That is a confirmed number. We have 26 confirmed coming, and I have an additional 7 that are on a maybe, and we have 4 that are going to just be coming by to get meals to go because they have to work. So all in all, 30 is the total number of people I have to plan for. And the only ones that do it is me and my mother-in-law. We cook, prep, and serve all the food, and it's all buffet style. But that's what we're doing for Thanksgiving. While we're doing that, there will be a bunch of people in the other living room. We have like a formal living room. We have like a kind of like a den that's off to the side of the living room. And they'll be watching football or whatever, and all the teenagers will be staring at their phones and not even knowing that their other sibling is sitting next to them. Plunder supposedly sprinkled donut put someone's autopsy information or their behind a paywall. Allegedly, that's what happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I didn't know about it. But then again, there's a lot of things in this world that happen that I don't know. I've seen people make mistakes like that before. I've seen them make more than one mistake. In hindsight, when they look back on it, they're like, "Yeah, that was the wrong thing to do," or they regret it and they try to fix it afterwards. But it's the way it is. I mean, we're all human. There's no one out here that is perfect. Will is cooking a huge Thanksgiving bash. I do every year, Pippadot. This will be in total. This year will be my son's 8, 13 years. This will be the 13th anniversary, Thanksgiving of that. We started it as a way. There used to be all right. So kind of picture this in your head where all these people come from. I gotta move my coffee cup before I knock it over. There's a whole bunch of families. Maybe they're a couple and they don't have any children, and they don't have any other family in this area. Then there's another family. Maybe they have one kid, and they're just barely eking by to pay. They're paying their rent, their car payments, and they're eking by, but they don't have much. Well, me and my mother-in-law were sitting around one day, and we're like, "Well, why don't we invite so and so over or so and so over for Thanksgiving dinner? It would help alleviate the stress and the pressure upon them to have to make a dinner for just themselves, or maybe it was another couple, older couple, retirees who were going to Denny's, or to someplace like that to eat, and we said, how about we invite them over? So and obviously it's helps save them because they're on a fixed income, and they can come and they would enjoy the conversation and the people who are here. And then we made and we started with that idea. Then we kind of had the first couple of years it was like a potluck. Everybody brought something if they could, and it could have been something as simple as a bag of Hawaiian rolls, or bring a bottle of sparkling apple cider. It was something minimal, so they felt like not necessarily that they had to, but if they could, but if they felt like they were contributing to the entire meal itself, and that's the way it started, and it kind of progressed along that in the same way over at all these years. Am I rich? Can I afford to feed 30 people? Well, I can afford this because we plan from the day that after Thanksgiving going all the way through to next year's Thanksgiving. We start buying all the non-perishable stuff, the salt, pepper, napkins, and canned goods, everything. And we start buying it as we can get it on sale. And I have a pantry where I have an entire shelf is just nothing but the canned goods that is earmarked just for the Thanksgiving. So if I can get like the cranberries out of a can, I hate that stuff. But instead of making it from fresh, if I can get it the cranberries for 50 cents a can, the day after Thanksgiving or the day after Christmas when nobody's going to want them for the next year or whatever to the next holiday, we'll buy it now, buy them all up. We stock it on the shelf, and then other things that we can freeze, we package and freeze, and then we for the next year. Maybe we can get flour at a reduced price, and we can make all the dough for all the pies and for the rolls and stuff. We can make all that stuff, portion it, and then we freeze it. And that's why we do it. It's not like I'm outlaying all this money in one giant chunk, for it, or not just me. It's me and my mother-in-law who do the things together. Zav girl got into a bunch of trouble for that. Is that the only thing she got in trouble for? I'm not a big fan. I'm not. I'll say that. I wish there were a billion. You were a billionaire, Will. I bet you a lot of people in need would get a nice Thanksgiving dinner. Well, I would too. For Christmas, for Christmas dinner, we'll do the same exact thing again for Christmas dinner. But on top of that, we all go to the Union Gospel Mission, and we volunteer there to make dinner for everyone. And I'm talking me, my wife, my daughter, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister, all of her, little offspring. I mean, they're all in their 20s, but there's probably about 12 of us who go to the Union Gospel Mission, and we help cook, prepare, clean, whatever they need, for Christmas dinner, and then we have dinner here ourselves, and we do the same thing, just like Thanksgiving, but for Christmas. Because the only real way you're ever going to make change in this world, it doesn't matter what color of skin the individual is who sits in a giant White House in Washington D.C. The only way you're ever going to see any difference in this world in your life is on the ground floor. You have to make a difference in your own community, and you have to make a difference there. If you can't do the simplest things like open the door for someone and say good morning, what hope do you have for the future? So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this morning's stream there. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Again, tomorrow night, trivia is Robert Durst, the eccentric real estate billionaire who was convicted of murder No. So that is tomorrow night's trivia. Robert Durst. So if you want to study up on it, that's who to look up information on. Robert Durst, the wackanut. He tried, and he done some pretty weird things in his lifetime. But Robert Durst. I hope to see you again for trivia tomorrow night. That is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock on the East Coast of the United States. So judge accordingly. It's on my channel. If you go to my channel, you can actually click on, give me a reminder or make a sticky note and put it on your computer or your wall or your calendar. Because every week, Saturday morning stream and the Sunday trivia are the same exact time every single week. So in the meantime, everyone, you stay safe out there. And as Purple always says, you never know who's going to be standing next to you next, nor do you know who's going to be knocking at your door. Bye.